que les 26e Jeux olympiques d'hiver 2030 sont attribués aux Alpes français.
Well, it's official. Courchevel will be one of the French resorts which will be hosting events in the 2030 Winter Olympics.
Do you like 150 days of winter?
Let's do this!
To geek the hell out.
So you're probably wondering, what will the 2030 Winter Olympics look like? Well, the International Olympic Committee, the IOC, made the announcement today in Paris, just ahead of the Summer Olympics, that after the 2026 Milan Games, that the 2030 Winter Olympics will be hosted in France, and also the 2034 Winter Olympics will be hosted in America. The main centre of the Games, along with the International Broadcasting Centre, will be down on the south coast in Nice. With the events spread out over the French Alps, there will be 4 venues. In Nice, they will be hosting the indoor ice events like hockey, skating and curling. The Haute-Savoie will be hosting the cross-country skiing and the biathlon. The Savoie region will be hosting the Alpine skiing and bobsled and luge. And Brianconaise will be hosting the snowboarding and freestyle skiing events. Breaking this down further, Meribel will be hosting most of the women's Alpine skiing events. The slalom will take place in Val d'Isère. Not only will Courchevel host the ski jumping events, but also the men's Alpine skiing events. Bobsled and luge will return to Le Plan. Cross country will take place in La Cluzaz. Biathlon in the Grand Bornard. Brianconaise will host the ski and snowboarding cross and freestyle skiing and snowboarding events. So from this, what do I see? Who are the winners and losers after this division of events? Well, of course, Courchevel is the obvious biggest winner of all the resorts. After hosting the World Championships last year with Meribel, these 2 resorts will host the lion's share of all the Alpine events. Another winner will be Le Plan. Like Courchevel, has the existing infrastructure from the previous games, this time for bobsled. Now for the losers, I'm going to say Val d'Isère seems to be the biggest loser out of this group. I'm surprised Val d'Isère only got the slalom events. Val d'Isère is synonymous with the downhill, with the legendary Fast de Bellevarde. It feels like they've just been given the slalom as I'm going to say, a consolation prize. And to me, another loser would be Val d'Isère's neighbour, Tignes. Now, to be fair, I don't really know of Briançon's history of hosting freestyle skiing events. But Tignes has hosted many freestyle events, including the European Winter X Games for many years. Their omission is very strange, especially given their proximity to other hosting resorts. So, what are my final thoughts? Well, the spreading out the events is a very interesting approach, utilising existing infrastructure to help keep costs down. However, I think it may be a bit too spread out. And again, not a dig at them, but if you look at the Alps, Briançon is all the way down on its own in the Italian border, far away from the rest of the hosting events. You have 4 resorts in the Savoie altogether. You have 2 in the Haute-Savoie, and then you have Briançon all on its own. It just seems a bit strange. Now, if we look at the last time France hosted the Winter Olympics back in 1992, it was an era when every country wanted to host the events, regardless of cost. I believe back then there were 7 bids, which over time has now dwindled to maybe 2 to 3 countries per games, with an average cost between $2 and $3 billion. That's in 2015 adjusted dollars. Governments have started receiving backlash from constituents who prefer that they spend that money elsewhere. When you look at huge amounts spent by Russia and China in past games, it was like only certain regimes really wanted the games. However, anyone who has ever skied in the 3 valleys, Le Rosier, Espace Killy, Paradisky since 1992 will have unknowingly used the upgraded roads and infrastructure that were built before the Albertville Games. A big set-piece event like ski jumping and bobsledding have already been built and just need, quote, a coat of paint. Pardon the air quotes, they need quite a bit of cosmetic maintenance. The fiberglass on certain parts of the outside of the bobsled track was visibly falling off when I was there 2 years ago. And there wasn't a year when the funicular on the side of Courchevel ski jump hasn't broken down. Regardless, it's a lot cheaper than building these from scratch. Now, I was made aware of a No Joe campaign when I was on the ski podcast last week, and I understand the amount of disruption caused by big events is not liked by everyone. There was a similar complaint last year at the World Championships. However, I think the games are great for tourism, which all ski resorts need in the end. And until recently, there were still Olympic logos around the resort from 30 years ago. I still see one or two of the iconic silver jackets from the Albertville Games every now and then. So, there you have it. As always, I would love to know your thoughts. Will you be coming to Courchevel in 2030 to watch the Winter Olympics, like I did actually back in December 1991? Hey, you might like Courchevel so much that, like me, you stayed here every year since. Anyway, I would love to know your thoughts. Leave your comments down below, like, subscribe, and also check out the new t-shirt shop. And I will see you all in the next video. Ciao.